All right, welcome back to Bayou Time News. Morton Foss with Earl Hughes, and of course, he is our emergency preparedness director. And I talk to him a lot during storm season. I'm hoping I don't see him at all during storm
I
season.
hope you're right.
But if this was a precursor yesterday that hit Terrebonne and other areas, I remember I was standing right outside my awning when that downdraft came, and it was really cooking. I hurry up, and there's Megan Odemont sent us some video. But I got in my car, drove to Mom's house, and hail started. It didn't quit for a long time. You'll see in some of these videos some of the hail and the pictures that people sent in. But what happened yesterday, Earl?
Well, the temperature yesterday, it was hot. It was 92 degrees yesterday afternoon, right before we had this thunderstorm. So usually when we get these warm days like this with very little air movement, the thunderstorms will start developing in different areas, and they don't move fast. They pretty much sit in one area, and that's what we had yesterday. And then, along with severe thunderstorms, you can get some downdrafts with that. And then, the way the hail is formed is the wind has an updraft, as you'll see right here, sucks up the raindrops up into the upper atmosphere, and they freeze up there. And that'll recycle. And the more they recycle, go up and down, the bigger they get. And then they eventually get to a point to where they get too heavy and they fall down. And that's what we had yesterday. My house, I think it hailed at least, I know, for at least 10 minutes. And it was pea-sized to nickel size. But I see you had some pictures of some that were quarter size.
Yeah, and it's the most hail I've seen in Mulberry that I can remember. I mean, we've seen hail before, but it looked like snow was on the ground.
It did. So I saw somebody took a picture around Clark Estates, and you could see the ice just covering the ground and the flower bed. So I had never seen that.
And we have footage from April Sins from Rouse's, and we're going to put that in. But it's unusual. But when that cold air comes down so fast, it's almost like it has to go somewhere, so it spreads out rapidly, and that's when we get those straight lines that are pretty. I guarantee you, we had 70-mile-an-hour winds yesterday, if not more. I was on the Bobcat after pushing trees off a Cougar Drive, but it knocked down some trees. But I say this in a good way: better to get some of those trees out of the way now than when the hurricane starts throwing them all over the place.
Yeah, and now's a good time to trim your trees around your house. And if you've got a dead tree that's been there for a while, you might want to remove it. But yesterday is a good example of why people should have some type of device that gives them a weather alert. Because the National Weather Service did issue an alert of a severe thunderstorm in our area, and then we also pushed it out on our app that's automatic. So if you have our app, Terrebonne OSEP. You'll get those severe thunderstorm warnings on your iPhone or your Android when they're issued. But I stress to everybody, it's important to have some type of device that's going to give you these warnings. Because if you're outside, you need to go inside. I mean, the lightning was bad yesterday.
It was popping. But I know what you were thinking, because when I walked out and saw the hail start and those winds, I'm thinking tornado.
Exactly.
Because hail precedes a lot of tornadoes, and of course it precedes a micro burst too. But when you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I was following it. It ended up going all the way up into the Bayou Black area and giving some trouble up into the Assumption Parish area, too. I think they had some hail. But even late last night, across the lake, they had some hail.
Yeah.
So it's when the atmosphere gets that warm with these type of temperatures and we have this unstable atmosphere, we're going to get these severe thunderstorms.
And I always know when something's going on. I wouldn't even have to look at the sky. I look at the intracoastal behind my house, and when those boats are racing in, they've been there before. It hits them before it hits us on the mainland, so to speak. So when they're rolling in, I know we got something bad coming.
Yeah, well, I was concerned because I got vehicles outside and everybody else too. People got new roofs, so if you get some large hail, and I'm talking like golf ball to baseball size, you can have some damage to some cars and your roofs.
And what you said was the biggest y'all had reported?
I had reported, they call it pea size to nickel size, but I seen some of the pictures you had, some people had some quarters.
Right.
And showed some.
And that was very few. Most of it, like you said, was quarter size, penny size. But there was a lot of it. So real quick, with about a minute 30 left, I hate to even say hurricane season around the corner because we don't need anything. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, and I know y'all getting ready.
Yeah, we are. Parish President Dove has, talked to all the departments, make sure we're all ready and, everybody's got what they need in case we do have an incident. One of the things that I think is going to be in our favor, it's not a guarantee, but, we have an El Nino, which typically produces a lot of westerly shear. Most of that affects those long-term hurricanes that come across the Atlantic from Africa. So that westerly shear will hopefully keep those down. No guarantees for anything that develops in the Gulf.
But I saw the Atlantic and the Gulf's going to be more unusually hot, but we're hoping the west shearing destroys the hot Atlantic and the hot Gulf.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why the National Hurricane Center put out a normal season. They didn't go below normal because the temperatures in the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico are abnormally high for this time of the year.
Right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it, and I'm sure we'll be talking with Earl Hughes quite a bit. Good to see you, and thanks for dropping by, letting everybody know what actually happened yesterday.
Well, thank you, Martin, and y'all do a great job for us getting the information out, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, once again, Earl Hughes, and love the guy, but I don't want to see him a whole lot this year unless we're out on a social event or something, but he does a good job at getting you the information. So we'll keep you posted right here on Bayou Time. We'll see you around the corner on the next segment.